And it is, be it resolved that the Board of Education is authorized to purchase, operate, and maintain pupil transportation vehicles and to purchase liability insurance for such vehicles or to finance contracts for the use and service of student transportation vehicles. Do I have any discussion?
I'm just asking a clarifying question. Is that just busing, or if we were in need of a specialized vehicle? Can you just explain that?
The resolution would allow both, but current practice is all of our transportation, even our specialized transportation, is done through a purchase contract. So we currently don't own transportation vehicles. This resolution would allow us to, if we had to, or to contract for those services, which is what we currently do.
Any other discussion around transportation? Hearing none, I'm going to call a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Excellent. It looks like that motion is also passed. Resolution D is the adoption of a tax levy, which would be just advisory at this point based on the things that we heard tonight, and obviously all of the timing related to the state. So there's some specific numbers. Let me just read what's listed. Be it resolved that there shall be levied upon the taxable property of the Raymond School District the sum of $2,120,800 for the purpose of defraying the cost of operation and maintenance of the public schools and $192,448 to repay non-referendum debt for a total levy of $2,313,248. I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make the motion. They got me already.
We almost have it memorized.
Excellent, thank you.
I'll second.
You don't know how easy that makes it for.
Is there any discussion with respect to the tax levy? All right, hearing none, I'm going to take a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. So it appears that the tax levy is also passed. I know. And then any other business which may be properly considered under the powers of the annual meeting. I know that the rules here are pretty strict, but there is a list of about 20-ish or so topics that can be brought up. Any other motions tonight?
Me, please. I'd like to make a motion to add resolution to consider 120.1014 legal proceedings.
All right, there is a motion with respect to 120.10 regarding legal proceedings. Is there a second with respect to that motion? All right. I have a motion and a second with respect to 120.10 in legal proceedings. Is there a discussion?
Don't fund them.
Share with everybody
Don't
what that
fund them.
refers to.
Personal legal expenses.
The legal expenses and conduct of our superintendent.
All right.
That falls under which part of
Do
Is
not,
that your advice, or is that somebody gave you and don't talk about?
it? Never passed that, no.
Yeah,
it's in the
Does that person
statute.
live here?
yes.
They do?
No, they don't.
Yeah, the person gave you didn't know. Do they live here?
No. Actually, I don't know.
They said she doesn't.
No, I
Don't worry about it.
Well, you're asking for Can you tell us exactly what's going on, because we didn't hear everything that was said back here?
So what are these legal proceedings? I mean, you're motioning for them, so
Yeah, we
you
should
should know
probably
what they
not.
are.
Yeah.
Do you want your taxes to go to funding illegal behavior?
Could you explain illegal behavior?
Wait, are you a
Wait, you don't even
taxpayer?
live here.
You're not allowed.
I'm not voting.
You're not
You
allowed to talk.
asked.
You're not allowed to
You
talk
should be
though.
allowed to talk. You don't pay taxes here. It's illegal tax.
I can't make a motion and I can't vote.
But you can talk.
You're not allowed to, like, you are not allowed to.
Where does it
talk.
say that?
I've been to plenty of these meetings.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, give me this citation. 120.10 parent 14
You
says,
can look it up.
yeah, go get it then and I'll wait here.
Don't do that. So what exactly are you proposing? I'm not sure I understand.
I'm proposing that Dr. Garvey be relieved of his duties. Citing misconduct.
I'm sorry, I don't know what she's talking about. They're trying to get rid of the superintendent. Can we use the microphone? Yeah, please use the
Which is not
microphone so we
our-
can all hear.
Yeah,
What he
well,
says.
is that not allowed?
We can't hear you.
Do we need to
120.10, sub 14, I'm gonna just read it from the powers of the annual meeting, says that legal proceedings, so a component of any of the things that we can talk about, including which motions were already passed. So legal proceedings, direct and provide for the prosecution or defense of any action or proceedings in which the school district is interested. So reasonably broad with respect to legal proceedings is a power of the annual meeting. And I think what I heard with a motion and a second was with respect to pursuing legal proceedings with respect to Dr. Garvey and his removal. Is there additional discussion regarding that?
Well, I guess I wouldn't mind saying something. I just feel that for being such a small district, and I mean, yeah, our budget's a little nicer this year than in past years, but I just feel like $85,000 between payments and, you know, other things that you get. I'm not sure what your other things are, but I was told it's about $85,000 from what I've read online. $85,000 for about 8 days a month. I believe you work 2 days a week, correct?
Half-time.
And that's like $110 an hour from a tiny district. I just feel like that's an awful lot of money for us to pay for one individual when we have teachers to hire, we have a building to fix, we have kids.
You have to split your
complaining on a daily
special
basis. I know
teacher.
last year I saw this on Facebook constantly. Kids coming home with headaches from sewer smells in the school. And I just feel like it's way more important to spend more money on the school and on the kids than on who I'm sure is a very good superintendent, but it's just too expensive for our small district.
Any other discussion?
I think I would just, I have a concern as well, but it has more also to do with, the amount of time that is allowed to be here because of other constraints on him. I think it's only 2 days a week that the superintendent is here, and I don't know if you know what the set schedule is. Do we have certain days that he's, you know.
There's no
days that
schedule.
you're here, so that if something comes up, people know who to go to, where to go, how to handle it, all that kind of stuff. So I think that in addition is another question, just 2 days a week doesn't seem very much for, you know, running the school.
And they don't have a set schedule because I've made an open records request and they have responded to that request saying, we don't keep track of his hours. We don't know what days he's here. There is no crisis plan for when he's not here. And additionally, he's bound by those hours because he's also getting paid from WRS from his previous place of employment. So, you know,
Wow, that makes me a little even more uncomfortable.
yeah, it's a large chunk.
Common practice for people who retire and want.
It's
to
called
continue
double
to work
dipping.
part-time.
I mean, okay, common, sure, but we're still a small district and that's a lot of money.
I'm just saying from a taxpayer standpoint, I want to let you guys know, Gwen Keller, I live here, that I'm grateful for Dr. Garvey's presence here. He's made a big impact, which I think was glossed over when we talk about the short-term borrowing. It's something that he talked about when we interviewed him, that we were spending a lot of money in interest and we didn't have to do that. So that's one, big impact. The business experience that he has, to me, is very important. And I the experience that he has working with school boards, I can tell you that he puts in a lot of time for our district to justify the
He's not
salary.
supposed to be doing that.
The leadership.
It's a violation.
Provided to our board, which is new, and learning about board governance.
Do we know
It's
how much
also
we've
very
saved? I mean, you
impactful.
mentioned saving money. Do we know how much we've saved?
He's not supposed to be working outside of his
Like
set
he
hours.
talked about- Excuse me, Deborah, ma'am, like he talked about, we won't know until we actually do the short-term borrowing, but if you can imagine, last year we had a note that was for the whole year. We had to pay the interest for the whole year before we could pay it back. You couldn't pay back early. So now, instead of that, we will just borrow what we need and pay it back when we get the payments from.
But we have no idea how much
Whether
we're
it's
we're
state or
actually
federal.
saving yet.
No,
We-
I think there's the savings element, there's also the other funds that he's identified that we can leverage to better benefit right, we're tapping into COVID funds from 2020, that brings in, I think I heard an extra 500K. There's a handful of things with his working knowledge of school finance and long-term history there, that financially he has put us in.
It is illegal to work more days off record than what your contract is for with the WRS. Well, you're gonna have a lawsuit and you're gonna pay for his legal fees.
That he's been employed here, that he has identified.
Because
and
it's
put us in a
filed.
better financial position.
Yes, ma'am.
So the assumption
Thank
is we
you.
wouldn't
I'm
have.
gonna stand so everybody can hear. My trade is a logistics specialist. I would go into trouble companies. I have done 10 in the last 15 years that I have gone into, and I have saved them money. Okay, that was the job that I did. My question is why is he first seeing this? The people on the board should have been accountable for the way money was borrowed. You are the
Exactly.
ones who should have gone to the bank
Exactly.
and asked them, don't do this.
They don't know
put
what
your
they're
hands
doing.
up. You are an elected official who is supposed to be representing us. Okay? So don't put your hands up and say, I didn't know.
Right.
You don't take a position unless you know what you're doing. Okay? You all are responsible for the money that's being spent. You go into my subdivision, I'm gonna say it because a lot of people don't like, I'm from Raymond Heights. Most of the homes in that subdivision are paying for the school and have no children here. Okay? We elected you to represent us, to make sure that the funds are being used in the proper way and that the funds are being sought after in the proper way. Okay? So don't keep doing this to me. You
Right.
can do that all you want.
She's so
You
rude.
wanted to be on the board.
Mhm.
You all, and I'm not just saying you, the past people too, should have been the ones who were looking at it.
It's a
So,
not a common knowledge.
Yes, he found it, and great. But you know what? I found millions of dollars for GE Medical and millions of dollars for other companies too. And you know what? I never got a pat on the back because that was part of my job. It's part of your job,
That's right.
all of you, to represent us and look for the best way to educate our children using the least amount of money.
And that's why we hired Dr. Garvey.
You paid $12,000
But
to,
you paid
$12,000 to hire him
All right, let's not have it to
Financial knowledge.
under false pretenses.
I'm
But
gonna
you're
just,
not listening to what I'm saying.
Can we come back
The
to the
board is
resolution?
Yep.
responsible for this.
for sure, and I'm gonna just step away from being the chairperson for a minute. I was on the board as well, and when I was on the board, we only did short-term borrowing as needed, so it has not been a practice forever here to borrow 1.2 million for the whole year
Right.
and spend 45 grand on interest. Again, I will say shame on the board, shame on that superintendent for not understanding and digging in and understanding the financial implications with respect to the bank. So I got blamed for both of them, and that really is, again, last year. So whoever was in the seats last year, they should have asked more questions. I agree, the taxpayers need to hold the board accountable as well. So I wanna just wrap up any other things, otherwise I wanna get moving on.
Yeah, just to circle
Oh.
back to the resolution, so my understanding is that the resolution is basically talking about funding, using taxpayer money to fund for the legal support for the board members. And from my understanding.
That's what this is, that's what that resolution is.
Is it this, so, am I right, is that what you talked about?
They should
in the
not fund it.
resolution?
Well-
It talks about the funding of,
I don't think that's what I heard exactly from Shelley, so.
Funding to hire legal counsel to,
See it louder
maybe
so
not
everybody
legal
can hear.
Remove him, so you don't have to pay legal fees.
Mr. Garvey, and take care of legal fees to remove him from his position with us.
that's what it's for, it's not, so
Yes.
it's not for the defense.
No, it's for the school district's defense because he has a contract,
Gotcha.
yes.
So I want to try to summarize what I believe the motion to be. Please correct me if I am wrong, but it is with respect to directing the board to pursue legal proceedings for the removal of Dr. Garvey. Does that summarize it and capture the essence? And I have got a motion and I've got a second. We've had some discussion.
I have one more question. Are you asking for us to buy out his contract and pay 2 years
You don't have to
of his
answer that.
contract without having him here?
You don't have to answer that.
I'm not gonna answer that because I'm not on the board, that's your decision.
And that's the legal peoples that you will be paying for that.
That's what you're asking for.
No.
No,
She's asking for legal counsel.
I think it's to get legal counsel.
That's
to
right.
Understand and
correct.
direct.
Legal counsel will tell us what we should do.
That's
They
right.
won't tell, I mean, that's what we would be paying for, just like you paid him to tell you what to do. In regards to loans, we would be
Right.
paying somebody to tell us what to do in regards to contract, breaking a
To
contract.
breaking a contract.
And all the options that exist.
Okay, I misunderstood.
Well, you did. Yes, you did. That's accurate. You misunderstood.
All right, I'm gonna go to a vote. All,
We do it again, so everybody understands what's going on. One more time before we vote.
all right, excellent.
Reiterate.
I've got a motion and a second to use district funds and to direct the board to pursue legal proceedings with respect to Dr. Garvey's contract.
To removing it.
We're not deciding those options, we're just authorizing and making a motion for the board to take action.
When you say take action, to obtain legal guidance of our options?
Of breaking contract.
Yes,
Of breaking.
of breaking the contract. I exploring what all that means and could look like.
It's authorizing you to hire a lawyer to give
A non-renewal.
options on how a contract can be broken.
Basically, all the people that elected you are saying, we don't like the decision you made, and we would like you to get legal action to break the contract.
That's not true, because there's a lot of people that did elect you that aren't here, that weren't a part of.
Too
this.
bad.
You should have
That
come.
definitely.
Too
would-
bad.
We didn't know you guys were gonna do this. Because we definitely would have been.
Well,
to
too
support
bad.
you, because-
There's a corrosive environment just in the school. Teachers are leaving.
You're part of it too. The stuff you guys see on the internet. We're a community here.
You
We're
didn't want
neighbors.
outside people coming to your greenhouse. What does outside people mean when we live?
I have no
out in
idea what you're
White
talking about.
The thing that.
Of course you
All right,
don't.
let's
Of course
keep
you
us
don't.
Focused on the motion and let's gonna go for a vote.
And then, I mean, just for, like, as, again, my understanding is we already
call
have
me
legal
trash.
counsel that can advise us on this, so, I mean.
She's a
voting on this
trip
would
right
just
there.
allow us to
She's used to getting away.
move, like, we already have legal counsel that advises us on this, so, I mean, we could seek to approve something we already have, but just for the record, we have that ability.
That's great that the board already has legal counsel. Again, we want to pursue the options with respect to the removal and what that would look like.
I have a question. If you remove Dr. Garvey, are you gonna hire another superintendent?
That's not open for discussion.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things that would be interesting to know, if you're gonna replace him, or is it?
Of course.
Things that would have to be explored, for sure. All right, I'm gonna move to a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Doesn't feel so good, does it?
All those opposed, nay.
You deserve it.
From my observation, the voices for yes, yay, were stronger than nay. Do I need to have people stand? Does anybody object with my observation of what I heard? All right, then I'm gonna say that the motion carries, and the board will, I'm confident that there are, guidelines in the statute, with respect to next steps. Any other business which may be properly considered under the powers of the annual meeting? Yep.
Once all this starts, how are we all gonna know? Is it gonna be up on the website? What's going on? How are we gonna be informed? What's going on?
Attend the school board meetings.
So it's just going to be a school board meeting?
That's what we've authorized the board to do.
Okay.
They meet, generally speaking, the third Monday of the month, 6:30. Watch the website if they have changes, because those are announced. Any other business which may be properly considered under the powers of the annual meeting?
Yeah, I have a motion. I'd like to make a motion. I move the Raymond School District be prohibited from defending against illegal action or utilizing any district funds to obtain legal services or counsel for the defense of any discrimination claims brought forth by any district employee involving allegations of discrimination conducted by either Michael Garvey or by the Board of Education.
All right, so another,
Oh, Jillian Berman, 3905 County Line Road. One second.
so
Did I have to
second,
say my name again? I'm sorry. Jennifer Hansen,
Can we make sure we
6300
get
West 5 Mile.
Can we get the wording from you?
Oh, absolutely. Would you,
Specifically for-
I had it written down so I wouldn't forget it. Absolutely. Yeah, no problem.
and just so people can hear, maybe I can
Oh, here, you want
get that.
Borrow it?
That would be amazing. So I heard a motion and a second, I'm gonna just read what it says. I move the Raymond School District be prohibited from defending against illegal action or utilizing any district funds to obtain legal services or counsel for the defense of any discrimination claim brought forth by any district employee involving allegations of discrimination conducted by either Michael Garvey or the Board of Education. And I heard a motion and a second with respect to that. Is there discussion?
Can you say that again?
Absolutely. I move the Raymond School District be prohibited from defending against illegal action or utilizing any district funds to obtain legal services or counsel for the defense of any discrimination claim brought forth by any district employee involving allegations of discrimination conducted by either Michael Garvey or the Board of Education.
Discussion, is that okay? So basically what I'm concerned with is there seems to have been a lot of teachers leaving in the last short while here. And I'm a little concerned that if they're feeling like they were discriminated against, that there's going to be legal proceedings coming in against Raymond School. I don't think our taxpayers' dollars should be going to pay for anyone else's legal fees if they're being discriminatory. So that's why I'm saying this. I just don't think that's a wise choice for our taxpayers' dollars. I think if anyone is accused of being discriminatory, they should pay their own
Fork it
legal
up.
fees.
It's the only way they change their behavior.
Correct.
Additional discussion?
Use
Yep.
taxpayer funds as a shield.
I'm just a little lost, like, is there a cost of somebody with discriminatory, like, I guess I'm trying to understand, like, why someone's putting that in the motion. Is there a topic that I missed at the last meeting, or?
Yes.
A meeting ago?
You did
Is
miss it.
someone suing the district, or what's going on?
I don't work for the district, so I don't know.
I'm just wondering, the woman that.
Yes, my name is Jennifer.
Hi, Jen.
Hi.
Is there a reason?
I'm not gonna name names because I don't want to, hurt anyone who's already feeling, hurt by things that have happened. So I'm just saying that this is something we need to be concerned about possibly in the future. And I don't think taxpayer dollars should go to pay for those lawsuits. It's simply being careful. I'm sorry?
There's supposed to be lawsuits.
I'm not saying there is for sure. I'm saying there's a possibility, and I don't think we should pay for them. This is simply just being careful.
Do we have insurance through the school to cover that sort of thing? I mean, isn't that liability? Does anyone know that answer?
Oh, I didn't hear it.
There is errors and omission insurance on board members, so the way board members and the administrators are not covered is if it's a
Could you go to the microphone? I'm so sorry.
So there is what's called errors and omissions, so if board members act in good faith and the administrators act in good faith,
That's the
we
key.
have insurance to assist us during that. Okay, so you're absolutely right. It's a little different than the liability insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And if we made a willful act to discriminate, then there's a chance we're not covered by that.
Okay, thank you.
Animus.
Additional
That's the legal
discussion or
word.
questions?
Animus.
So I've got a motion and a second. I'm gonna read it again. Now we're gonna take a vote. I move Raymond School District be prohibited from defending against a legal action or utilizing any district funds to obtain legal services or counsel for the defense of any discrimination claim brought forth by any district employee involving allegations of discrimination conducted by either Michael Garvey or the Board of Education. I'm gonna go for a vote. So all in favor, say yay.
Yay.
All opposed, say nay.
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 The people who it affects.
Again, I'm gonna suggest that I heard more yays than nays. Is there any disagreement with respect to that? So it appears that motion carries as well.
I don't feel like I cut off my left hand, you know?
Any other,
Keep that for a month for
any other business which may be properly considered under the powers of the annual meeting?
Can we set next year's date?
Thanks. Janelle's reminded me, I think I want to get a motion to set the annual meeting for 2024. And what I see here is suggested potentially is Monday, August 19th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. Mental note, that would be a change from this year, which started at 7:30. And so the board, I believe, would be looking for a motion so that we and the citizens can start to plan.
I think she needs a
What would the
motion.
date be? Monday, August 19th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. I'm gonna make sure that's not is that would be that a board meeting night?
It would, we do the budget hearing and annual meeting in the first part of it, and then we finish on the board meeting.
Might be a long night.
There's a chance.
All right. So the clarity on that was it would be a regularly scheduled board meeting night. They would intend to start with the budget hearing, which is the first part that we did, the annual meeting part, which is what we're doing right now. And then the third part would be the regularly scheduled school board meeting and whatever might be on the agenda that night. So do I have a motion for that night or any other night in 2024? It is typically set a year ahead. I know that seems crazy, but it really is.
What's the
Statutes.
date for that Thursday? For the Thursday instead? That way the board wouldn't have to be there for so long.
Thursday the 22nd?
Yeah, I
August
will
19th?
try, 'cause that's a lot for.
So are you making a motion, Shelley?
Yes, I'm making a motion, I'm sorry.
For Thursday,
August 22nd.
August 22nd, 2024, at what time?
7 and 7:30, I like the usual, that's what we had tonight.
7:30 was.
Oh, I'm
start
sorry,
tonight.
7:30, budget hearing is at.
7:30.
Or
So
something.
we'll do it right into.
I second that. Jennifer Nansen.
Motion and a second. So motion to.
I made a
Oh, did you do Jenny?
Yeah.
And then you just put Jenny and Jenny.
What time, Shelley, 7?
I'm sorry, yes, yeah, 7, yeah.
So I've got a motion and a second to set the annual meeting date for 2024 to be Thursday, August 22nd, 2024 at 7 PM. Any discussion? There being none, I'm gonna take a voice vote. All in favor, say yay.
Yay.
All opposed, say nay. Hearing none, the motion carries. Now, is there any other business which may be properly considered under the powers of the annual meeting? All right, I am hearing nothing, so we are adjourned at 9:24.